Bold and Beautiful's Matthew Atkinson sends a heartwarming message. I couldn't be more grateful. His fans may not see him on The Bold and the Beautiful as much as they'd like, given that Thomas is back in France, and although the character is no longer engaged to Paris, Matthew Atkinson's love life couldn't be better. The CBS soap star celebrated his second wedding anniversary this month and sent his beautiful bride, Brittany Ratledge, a very sweet message. Still choosing the mountains, the mystery, and you, Atkinson posted on his official Instagram along with a lovely video that captured their special day in 2023. 2 years and 1 baby later, I couldn't be more grateful my partner in it all is you. November 8, 23 will always be one of the greatest memories of my life, to which Ratledge replied, a love that gets sweeter with time, I adore you now more than ever. Bold and Beautiful's Jacqueline McInnes Wood and Tanner Novlin weigh in on dating dos and don'ts. What got a hard pass? The video contained shots of the bridal party, the gorgeous scenery and of course, the happy couple as they said, I do. And as we reported in 2023, many of his castmates were pictured in attendance, including Catherine Kelly Lang, Brooke, Kimberlyn Brown, Sheila, Ashley Jones, Bridget, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, Steffi, and more. More Bold and Beautiful preemption ahead. And of that little baby he mentioned. The couple welcomed their first child together in October 2024 and Atkinson shared a first glimpse of their son back in May. We wish the couple a happy anniversary and a lifetime full of happiness as they set out on more adventures together. View another photo of Atkinson and Ratledge and meet more Bold and Beautiful stars' real-life loves by opening up our photo gallery. There are moments in an actor's life when the boundary between the character they play and the person they truly are becomes softer, thinner, almost porous. Moments when gratitude spills from the individual, not the role, and touches audiences in a way no scripted storyline ever could. For years, fans of The Bold and the Beautiful have watched Matthew Atkinson bring complexity, humor, frailty, and fire to the character of Thomas Forrester. His portrayal is equal parts tradition and reinvention, echoing decades of soap opera heritage while giving Thomas a contemporary softness beneath the storms. Yet beyond the dramatic arcs, the betrayals, the redemptions, the heartbreaks, the reinventions, there is Matthew, the artist, the human being. And in this creative exploration, Matthew Atkinson is ready to say something he says too little, something simple, something grounding. I couldn't be more grateful. That message, in its fictionalized form here, becomes the foundation for a story about purpose, art, connection, and the unexpected ways gratitude shapes a life lived on screen and off. A morning like any other, except it wasn't. The fictional morning begins with sunlight spilling across the small patio of Matthew's Los Angeles home, turning the steam rising from his coffee mug into a column of gold. It was one of those rare days off when the city seemed quieter, as if it too had decided to let out a slow exhale. He had slept longer than usual. Number 5 a.m. call sheet. No 12 scenes to film. No wardrobe notes marked wrinkled shirt, emotional tension, mid-apology. Just time. A full breath of it. He checked his phone, expecting the usual emails, reminders, maybe a script revision. Instead, what he found first was a flood of fan messages. Long ones, short ones, funny ones, emotional ones. They came from everywhere: Brazil, Italy, South Africa, Iowa. They were filled with gratitude, encouragement, recollections of years watching the show with mothers, daughters, grandmothers, partners. Stories of people who saw themselves, not in the perfect characters, but in the flawed ones, the ones who fought their way to redemption. He sat back and let the emotion rise naturally. It didn't swell like a wave. It pooled like quiet water, steady and deep. How lucky am I? He thought. And then came another thought, warm and insistent. I should say something back. Something real. The memory that sparked the message. It wasn't fame or recognition that moved him. It was a memory. Years earlier, long before he joined The Bold and the Beautiful, Matthew had worked on a project where he felt invisible, another face in a long casting line, another name scribbled in pencil on a call sheet. He remembered waiting in a cramped hallway during an audition, listening to other actors go in and out. The fluorescent lights were buzzing. His hands were cold. Nobody made eye contact. Actors are taught to be resilient, to endure rejection with a professional smile, to treat each no like a stepping stone, not a brick barrier. But that day, he felt small, not because of the industry, but because he hadn't yet learned to measure his worth independent of it. He had promised himself something quietly: if I ever get to a place where my work truly reaches people, I will never forget this feeling. Gratitude wasn't a PR strategy. It was a compass. And now, years later, with fans expressing that same vulnerability, you helped me through a hard time, your work made me feel seen, your storyline brought my family closer. Matthew felt the echoes of young him, feeling unseen, and wanted to hold space for every person who had ever felt that way. An actor, a character, and the thin line between them. One thing soap audiences understand better than almost anyone is character evolution. They see it not in 2-hour arcs but in years, sometimes decades, of small, textured shifts. For Matthew, stepping into the role of Thomas meant weaving together an inherited legacy with his own interpretation. Thomas had been a hero, a villain, a man lost in obsession, a man searching for identity, a father struggling to be better, a creative spirit misunderstood by those closest to him. The challenge was never about portraying perfection. It was about portraying humanity. And in this fictionalized creative piece, Matthew thinks about how many people have written to him saying they saw their own mistakes reflected in Thomas's, how they saw their own attempts at redemption mirrored in his, how they related to the complexity rather than the simplicity. That was the power of storytelling, Matthew thought. To hand someone a mirror when they didn't even know they needed one. The heart of the message. Later that afternoon, fictional Matthew sat at his desk. The sun had shifted. The coffee was gone. The gratitude was still there, pulsing like a heartbeat. He began typing, not a polished statement, not a press release, but a genuine personal message. I couldn't be more grateful for the support, for the patience, for the kindness so many of you show me every day. Playing Thomas has been a journey, not just for the character but for me. You've allowed me to grow, to learn, to take risks. And I don't take that lightly. Thank you for letting me be part of your daily lives, your routines, your conversations. It means more than I can express.